Someone's fallen sick in Zimbabwe and they've been brought here. Parirenyatwa Group of Hospitals in Harare, the biggest medical center in the country, named after Samo Parirenyatwa, the first black person to ever qualify as a doctor. But the situation isn't great here. The patient that's been brought in by the ambulance, he or she's going to have to get looked at by the nurses. If the situation is desperate, they'll have to admit them. But there's a big problem. There's no doctors in this hospital. The doctors are on strike. They downed tools demanding a better salary and better working conditions. And that was heightened when one of their colleagues was reportedly abducted. After doctors downed their tools completely, we wanted to find out what is happening with the patients at the hospital. We weren't allowed to film inside the wards, but we're given permission to film outside of the hospital. As I walked down the road, I met a group of women. They were sitting down and looked heavily exhausted. I approached them and asked to speak to them independently and hear their stories. And this is what they had to say.
Akanyoro zvakanyora but problem yetiti akagara pana panofunga almost week munhu achingochema achirwadziwa ari in pain pasina kana chatiri kutombopiwa after a week ndopara kuzonzi pane mapirizi akanyorwa nachiremba dai manotenga mainjection ini zviri kuitika mukati menazombonzwa kuti chii chiri kuitika umini izvozvo munhu anongochema achirwadziwa gumbo racho kana anoyazotarisa kana anogadzira hapana saka ini handichatozive ndatopererwa ndodii
ane nguva yakareba sei achirwara
vezvinezvi wiki inoirare chi3 apa takanzi bhadharai mari dzematheatre tengai simbi zvese takatenga asi dokta wacho kana umuona asi kumbomuone apa munhu ari kungo everyday anenge achingochema achirwadziwa
imunoenda kubasa manje
handiende kubasa ndishande
murume wenyu ndiye angachishanda
ndiye angachishanda
saka kumba muri kuita sei
kumba hapana vana ndiri kutongosiyiwa panext door ndoyandoswera ndakagara pano enazve murwere wacho kana chekuti umuigire kana bhanana chairo kana orange hapana kungouya uchingoonawo munhu kuti zvinondodii munhu ari kuchipatara
ndakabva kuawadi kwandakatransferwa nchiva nemwana ane 16 years akachikoka gumbo auya panapa akasvika ndokubva amboonekwa nadokta zvemazuva anenge 2 ine zvinda kukwanisa mwedzi ndiri panapa saka akanzi anofanira kuenda kutheatre kuti aneswa simbi so far kubva ipapo madoktas haasi kuwanika kuti akwanise kuneswa simbi akatombopfekedzwa kunzi akuenda kutheatre asvika padhoo svikanzi anobaya injection wacho dokta wachona haapo asi dokta anga aripo musashona anoenda nekutheatre saka mwana ari kungochema arimo mukati negumbo rakachikoka apa anobaya injection 150 pazuva mari yacho ndinoiwana kupi saka ndirotoita zvekutojamba injection akanzi anzi ndekuti risaunganidze ropa dai ana chiremba vangonzwawo mwoyo wekuti mwoyo werudo kuti vangodzokawo pabasa nokuti taomerwa ndaimborara panapa but ndakaona kuti ndiramenjera panapa handina
mairara pachipatara mukati
taiswera tiri panze apa takaisa mabhegi edu tozopinda mukati umu manheru vanobvumidza ma10 kuti tichipinda pareception apa
kumba makasiya kunani
ndakangosiya vana mukomana wekutanga ari form 1 akasara nemwana mudiki ane 4 years
aende kuchikoro
ande kuchikoro anotongobuda yose amuendesa kucreche yoenda
patira chikuramba chichikuchaja even though mwana asiri kutritwa
dzinotochaja vanotoda mari yavo saka ndakutotyira kuti gumbo remwana richaora nekuti hana treatment yari kuwana
One of the cardinal rules of journalism is to never get too emotionally invested in a story. But I'd gotten so overwhelmed listening to the situation that these women find themselves in. One has lost a father, a leader, and a breadwinner. She doesn't have enough money to come to see him. But when she does get there, she only has herself. She can buy many fruits. Another woman has a beloved son inside. The son she left at home at 13 is now taking care of their youngest child who's in creche. It got to me, and I needed to take some time out. With no end in sight, none of the 2 women I had spoken to has an idea when their horror stories can come to an end. I gathered my courage and composed myself and went to speak to a third woman, a mother whose son is suffering from cancer.
Inini ndoitwa Emily Kandiwa. Ndinobva kwaMutare. Ndakauya nemwana ari form 6 anonzi Clayton Satia. Akadiagnoswa cancer paziso. Ada kutonyora form 6. Kubva zvatakauya rubatsiro chairo rwasati aruwana. Ngonzwa madhoktors ari pastrike. Madhoktors ari pastrike.
Manengo yakareba sei?
Ndakauya panapa musi wa1. Kungoya zvonzi madhoktors hapana. So racho mukatorona ngoti tatumuta aende kumba ndandaya kuzotsvaga mishonga. Kumwe yakanyorerwa ana mufenai. Mari dzachozve ndedzekupema. Apa mishonga yacho iri kudhura. Mabills acho ngonzizvo endai kuLancet. Endai kumalab kwakati. Apa iwo nengo usingashandi basa chairo hapana. Toshupika.
Manje mari dzemakombi nemishonga kuita sei?
Tinorara umo.
Munorara panapa?
Emergency. Zvinorwadza.
So some of the stories are just horrific. Like I think the picture that the lady showed me of her son, and he's got cancer, and the first thing that just scares you is that for the last month that he isn't getting treatment, it could be spreading, and the people who are feeling the brunt of this, is mostly innocent people, mothers who should be raising households, and they're sleeping here. As the sun began to set, I left Paranyato Hospital. On my way out, I passed the doctor's parking and stole a glance. On a normal day, this parking is usually full, but today, it's only a quarter empty. In the dead of night, I found myself retracing my footsteps back to Paranyato Hospital. The women I'd spoken to in the afternoon had told me that at times they sleep inside the hospital. As we walked inside, we were greeted by the heartbreaking scenes of men and women sleeping on the cold, unforgiving benches at Paranyato Hospital. But the real gravity of the issue really hit me as we were exiting the hospital. We saw a family of about 5 women struggling with a little child whom they were trying to bundle into a car. Manesi aramba kumbazira
hanzi panapa tina maspecialist anoona nezvekwese tichitori madhoktors ekuana saka ise non-starter.
We never got contacts for the family that was turned away that night. When we introduced ourselves as journalists, they fled. The next morning, we tried to get answers from the relevant authorities about this crisis. As the matter is being handled by the ministry, hospitals can no longer comment as individual entities. The ministry officials were not available, and the phone of Obadiah Moyo, the health minister, rang unanswered. Despite our best efforts, we failed to get any comment from the leaders of the doctors' associations. They do have some support though. One young man whose young brother has been holed up in hospital placed the blame squarely on government's doorstep.
In as much as it is not justified to leave people dying at Parenyato, but I think it would be also selfish if we say that the doctors should have not done what they've done. Because yes, we might be having our relatives who are dying every day at this hospital, but it is also the same thing that is happening to their relatives. So I don't think it's a bad situation if they move the agenda to correct the faults which we are facing. You are Zimbabwean and I'm also a Zimbabwean. The faults that this government is doing, I think they need attention, and what they did is very much justified. If I was a doctor, I could have done that too.
I was worried about Clayton's eye, so the next day we drove to Sheokunze, some 37 km outside of Harare. At the house, his mother narrated her ordeal once more. But Clayton also took some time to tell us about his condition and the battle to get it treated. His words cut through everybody's heart. The desperation of his situation and the fear of the worst left everybody in tears.
Sorry. It's okay. It's alright. Let's see this through. Shivarama, please.
On our way back home, we drove past Parenyato Hospital. Ironically, by its roadside was an ambulance with flickering lights, likely on call and on the way to pick up a patient. Whether that patient sees a doctor or gets treated remains to be seen, but the chances are not looking good. Zimbabwe's government remains deadlocked in a labor dispute with its doctors. And with the doctors not reporting for work, a raging fire is consuming the most vulnerable members of its society.
Vangona mtu muwodi ndizvo ndovapera sarungana.
Mutana treatment yari kuwana.